Hey guys, my name is Florentino Hernandez. Everyone knows me by Flow. I'm 20 years old, been riding BMX for 5 years. Born and raised in Hoboken, New Jersey, and it's my BMX story. Yeah, so from the very beginning, my dad had a background in racing BMX. He worked at a bike shop, and when he had me, he wanted me to get into the same sport as him. So he really got me my first bike, always took me to the skate park, showed me pretty much the basics, and I just kind of took off from there. I caught the bug when I was about 14, and that's when I really started cranking it out and really take it seriously and really see how far I can go into it. He gave me like a couple tips, nothing too heavy, but most of the time it's you versus yourself, you know. So I was out in the skate park by myself, trying to dial every trick I saw on YouTube from, OSS awesome days and the come up. So try and, replicate what they were doing, and pretty much self-taught. But if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be on this thing. So shout out to you, Dad. Right, so he originally he lived in Cuba. He was born and raised in Cuba, and then when he moved to the United States, he moved to Western New Jersey. And around like the 80s, BMX was really popping off. So a lot of kids his age would be riding, and they gave him, actually his neighbor gave him a bike, like a 10-speed mountain bike, and he was just hitting jumps with that thing. Like he really pushed it to the limits. And then later on, he was able to, he worked at a bike shop, got his own bike, and then he kind of took off from there, started racing BMX. He would race every weekend in North Bergen. There'd be nationals every weekend. It was like a really good time for riding. So. And yeah, from there on, after high school, he decided to start up his own thing, do his own project and start Flow on Wheels, which has been around for 35 years. Yeah, definitely got me the ball rolling for me to get motivated into riding. Yeah, my dad's a shop. I want to, represent him the best I can. So at first, I was really lazy when I was young. So I literally didn't even want to ride, work. I was like super bad. I had to kind of give myself the self-motivation to really push myself. But he had everything set up for me, and I just had to take it by the horns and run with this. So that's what I'm trying to do as best as I can, and for the near future as well. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't. If he didn't ride BMX, I probably would never even looked at a bike twice. Honestly, yeah, there's a lot of distractions in the world, so a lot of people get missed course from other things. So yeah, it's very important. So my first legit BMX bike was a Specialized P series. That was back when they made and produced a lot of BMX bikes, but they discontinued, unfortunately. So after that, I built up my first Stranger and Primo complete custom build from the frame up. And since then, I've been riding with that company since. Their parts are super steady. Currently riding them right now to this day. And the past 3 bikes that I've had has been the same parts, same company. So, and I stick to a company that doesn't let me down. And so far, they've treated me very well. Every single part I've purchased has been solid, and I still stick with them. So shout out to Stranger, shout out to Primo, Rich Hirsch over in Long Beach, California. Make some good bike parts. First trick would be a foot jam. Most kids start off with bunny hops or 180s, but a foot jam, my friends were doing them all the time. They wouldn't even fake you out. They'd just hop in the foot jam and I thought it looked so cool. So I kept doing foot jams. And then from there, I started with the fakie, actually rolling out of a trick. I'll go up against the wall, roll back, and then I would kind of just build up from there. Bunny hop, 180s, 3s. Yeah, a close family friend of mine who unfortunately doesn't ride anymore, but I was with him almost every weekend when our family got together. We'd ride Hoboken skate park, we'd ride street, and he showed me pretty much all the ropes. He had a head start on me when it comes to riding, so he knew more and kind of showed me what to do, and I just picked it up from there. Yeah, he was always like, all right, do this, put your foot here, just wait for that back end to come up, come down, so it was really cool. So if it wasn't thanks to Christian Severo for showing me my first foot jam, I wouldn't be doing any tricks at all. So thank you for breaking down for me, homie. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, appreciate it, dude. The adrenaline and satisfaction you get from learning, I think any trick, just riding your bike in general is truly incredible, People have different outlets when it comes to dopamine and feeling good, whether it could be bad things or good. But for me, being on these 2 wheels is the most incredible feeling in the world. There's no other way to feel free and just to be able to explore and relate with so many people from a simple machine. So I'm really thankful for it. First trick that took me the longest to learn was dropping on a half pipe. The day I learned it, my dad was next to me, pushing me, encouraged me to keep going and don't give up. And Sure enough, I got it, got dialed, got comfortable, and super grateful he was there with me that day to experience that. So honestly, it was simple, but dropping in on a half pipe probably was like the ultimate mental block for me. Just the fact that you're sitting on top of like, however tall a quarter pipe and you have to go in, it was super scary for me. And actually the day I learned, my dad was luckily with me, yelling at me, come on, just go, like trust yourself, descend it. And I pulled it. I dropped in, learned how to air, get more comfortable in the half pipe. And so that was a really cool moment that my dad was there to see me, actually pursue my first real mental barrier on like a kind of like a bigger foundation for riding. So besides like a foot jam or like a bunny hop, so. Yeah, favorite trick's gotta be a manual. I think just the fact of holding up your front wheel and you're able to do so many tricks out of it, into grinds, out of grinds, manual quarter pipe, there's no better feeling. And you can do so much versatility with that trick, which is great. So I love a good manual. Manual, I want to say to get them dialed about 3 months, because I'll pull it up, front wheel will come down, most kids start with the parking lot spaces. So the lines, I'll just start going one lot, 2 lot, 3 lots, and kept going and going. And then definitely the skate park helped me get the good momentum to pump over boxes and whatnot. So yeah, definitely a couple months to get that dialed for sure.
Behind.
Worst fall actually was about 2 years ago. I was at my local, and usually I warm up doing the same line. I'll come up the quarter pipe, I'll 3 a box. This time I came up for the 3. My foot slipped off my pedal, and I hyperextended my knee, so my leg went like fully out. I was by myself. So at first it didn't hurt because I had the adrenaline running through me, so it was no big deal. But when I got right back to the shop, my knee was like a balloon, and it stayed like that for 6 months. I never went to the doctor. Everything was home therapy. I just iced elevation, let the blood flow go down. And I was off the bike for about 6 months. And then the hardest part was not even just the injury, it was coming back on my bike and just losing my confidence for doing like a bar spin or even a 3, I was just paranoid I'm gonna get hurt again. So it took me a while to get back on my feet, but once I was back in my rhythm, I started wearing knee braces. I wear knee brace and pads all the time. People have different opinions on it, but for me, I think helmet, pads, very important. Definitely good for just not being so worried about falling or getting hurt. So, and it's definitely made my knee stronger. And since that day, I've been trying to work out, do a little home workouts to build up my legs, my upper body, so that I could avoid it in the near future if it happens. Most challenging trick has to be, I think, airing out in general. I think it's super weird just being up in the air, having so much air time. People freeze up, and it's really hard to get the confidence to throw a trick and so high up in the air. There's a local quarter pipe at my skate park. There's a quarter to bank that everyone would always hit. And I watch the guys, I'm like, man, like that looks so cool. So just build the confidence to go up a ramp, throw a bar, anything really. It takes a while. It took me about a good year just to get used to boosting and getting enough air to throw a trick. And then once I got some other tricks down packed, I started just throwing it off from the quarter pipe into the bank. And then I'll do it at other skate parks and just try and mix it up as much as I can. BMX, I mean, honestly, besides even the riding, I think just the whole philosophy of being able to relate with so many people from one piece of machine, I think is great. A couple months, like 2 months ago, I went to California with a good friend of mine, Brian Malosaves, and we were able to ride with Garrett Reynolds. Like there was no status difference. Like we're both human beings just riding BMX, And to be able to relate with such a legend in the industry like him was such a gratification, such a good feeling that I've never experienced before. So thank you, Garrett and Zach Castro in San Diego, for showing us around that day. I'll never forget it. That was such an awesome session, and hope to see you guys again soon. Personally, I would consider myself a competitive rider against myself. I think I'm always trying to push myself as far as I can and try to see how far I can go. Self-confidence is a huge thing in the sport, and I'm always trying to break my mental barriers when it comes to any trick, any setup that I feel like I feel hesitant on. So definitely competitive with myself only. On the end of the day, it's you and this machine, and there's no one else. You know, once you start adding other people and compare yourself to other people in the industry, you get mixed up, and some people get discouraged and quit because some people are at such a higher level. You know, so at the end of the day, just focus on yourself, focus on your level, at your pace of riding, and you'll progress at your own pace, which is, I think, the best part of the sport. I've only been in a couple of jams, like down the streets, some of Panza's jams, but I'm hoping to compete maybe one day in the near future or participate in his main jams as they come up. In the near future, maybe X Games or some session would be sick. You know, see how far this bike takes me. Yeah, I think I'm more proud of just having self-confidence doing tricks than the trick themselves, you know, because a lot of people would do the same tricks, but for me, I just feel so satisfied when I'm able to like get out of my head and just land a trick that I was so worried about, you know, before running up to it. So I think that's the best part about it. I ride with a very small group of friends from Flow BMX. You know, whenever we're able to link up, everyone has a different schedule, so every time we're all together, we make the most out of it. But riding by yourself, I think, is very important as well. It's important to be able to focus on what you want to do and not be distracted from what any other people are doing. So I hope to ride by myself a little bit more to improve on my tricks, but riding with your friends is honestly the best thing in the world. Just cruising a new city or new skate park is like no other. Yeah, Flow BMX started when I was about 14, 15. I'll just film my homies, I'll post it. You know, there's never really like a heavy scene in Hoboken, so I want to bring that out onto the spotlight for other people to see. And I also want to set a good example for the kids, you know, especially in this town, there's a lot of kids that want to pick up a BMX, you know, but not a lot of riders are in this area. So every time I'm at the skate park, you know, I try to wear my helmet, wear my pads, make myself presentable for the next generation so that their parents will be motivated, like, hey, you know, this seems safe and I want my kid to be a part of it, you know, and have some sort of a model for the young generation. And I just want to keep Flow BMX clean, motivate the kids to get on a bike and go ride with your friends. It's 5 of us. It's myself, Nick, Brian, Ben, and Quinn. It's funny because none of them actually live in Hoboken. I'm the only one, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We all come down to Hoboken, we film at our local spots, our local skate park, and we have a good time. It's like they've lived here all their life. All those guys kill it, and I get such huge inspiration from all of them in their own way. So shout out to you guys. Love y'all. Usually I'm in Hoboken most of the time, but I'm always in the city as well. It's so easy to hop on a path or a ferry and just ride LES or any local street spots in the city. Especially that I'm not there that often, I like to discover new spots with the locals there, like Tokyo or Marquise, Nick, you know, so I look forward to having more New York City sessions in the near future for sure. Anywhere I can ride my bike, I love it, man. I'm actually trying to be more diverse in my style. I don't want to put a label that like, I'm one thing, you know, like Dennis Anderson, for example, he could get on any setup and just shred it. And that's kind of what I want to pursue in the near future, is be able to be versatile and adapt into any environment I'm in. Whether it's a street spot, a trail, or a box jump, I'll ride it. Only place with my bike so far has been San Diego, California, like plane-wise, but I hope to go in the near future to Spain, next stop. Yeah, traveling to San Diego was honestly like the best experience. It's always good to escape a little bubble for a little while and be able to see another part of the world. And the lifestyle there, the scene is unbelievable. It's nothing that I've seen around Jersey. So it's really awesome to be able to experience that for a good week. I wish I could stay there longer, but I go back home and go to our responsibilities. So, but it's something to work towards to in the near future, to go back again. So yeah, expectations from BMX. Honestly, I just want to have a good time on a bike. I just want to set a good example for the younger generation and motivate them to get on a bike. If people aren't setting good examples, then no one else will be pumped up to go on a BMX bike and start shredding. So I think it's very important to set a good example for the younger generation, for sure. If it comes, it comes. You know, I feel like people who seek it too hard, it will never come to them. So I just, I ride my bike. If the sponsorship comes, that'd be amazing. But if not, I'll always be doing my thing, no matter what, with or without a company behind my back, because I have myself and my friends. So I want to ride, so I can't ride anymore, man. If I have kids, I want to have my son or my daughter be on a bike as well. So I'm just going to keep staying healthy, keep working out, and keep my body in good shape to keep riding. So if I'm on my bike, usually I'll be out surfing on the beach. I actually just picked it up last summer towards the end of the season, so I'm still learning. And I like the process, starting off something brand new and building up to get better, I think is super important. So and it's that same feeling that I felt when I first got on a BMX bike. So surfing is definitely a new challenge for me that I'm embarking on. I'm excited to keep going. To BMX, first of all, my father, from the foundation he set for me and what he's done from riding a bike, I think is super inspirational. In the industry, Dennis Anderson, I just love how he presents himself. He is so versatile, and like any obstacle you give him, he will kill it. And I look up to that, and I hope to put that kind of skill into my own riding in the near future and replicate that in my own way. Current trick I'm learning right now is a tail whip. Anyone who can tail whip, I give you so much props because it's very hard. I'm still building up to it, but the more time and practice I put into it, it's going to come around and I'll finally catch it. So yeah, definitely tail whips is my next conquest at the moment. My advice to the younger generation is to pursue what you truly enjoy doing. I feel like a lot of kids nowadays get distracted from what their friends are doing, or they will change themselves for the other people's perspective. Stay true to yourself, enjoy what you love doing, whether it's BMX, drawing, whatever it may be, and stick to it. And one day it'll come back and really help you out. So shout out to Life Behind Grips for giving me this opportunity. This has been such an amazing experience. I think he's doing such an amazing thing for the BMX scene, and we really need some in the East Coast. Shout out to my family. Shout out to everyone involved in Flow BMX. Anyone who's ever picked up a sticker, liked a video, commented, I appreciate all the love. Shout out to Stranger and Primo for making some dial parts. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be riding. And thanks everybody for watching this video. Give Flow BMX a follow, give Life Behind Grips a follow, and keep riding your bikes, guys. Thank you.